do you have any tips for making video content? So I just to start this question, I basically I created a video earlier in this series, which was about how to get the ball rolling, how to create a business, how to get your first client, how to get your second client, how to do all that sort of stuff. And the general the tip that I gave in that video was basically that there were two types of people. There were people that consumed information online, and there's people that supply information, so content providers. So there's two types of people, and off of that, the answer to that question came this question of, well, if I want to be a content provider, if I want to provide content to, i.e. YouTube, websites, forums, things like that, if I want to be a person that supplies content and gains clients through supplying content, how do I go about making these sorts of videos? So, you know, it is quite simple, and it's something that you will get better at over time. You know, the first videos that I did, I had to cut them up and do various different. I had to do multiple takes of videos. Now you'll notice that basically I'll do a video from a 10-minute video of me just chatting about a subject or answering a question, and there's no cuts in it. If I cut out certain parts, I could condense a 10-minute video probably down to 4-minute video, just basically taking a little bit of the waffle out. But I personally think that, you know, a lot of what I'm saying and just literally talking about just straight off the bat is as meaningful as everything. It's fully part of the context of the whole video and the part of answering the whole question. And it's almost like we're sat in a room talking to each other. You know, you've asked a question and I'm answering it in as much detail as I can. So to make these sorts of videos, all you need is a decent camera. You know, you could use your phone these days, an half decent microphone that's going to pick up the audio. You know, I use, what is that, a Canon EOS 250D, and then I've got a Rode VideoMic Pro just on the top of it. I used to have a ring light that I'd use, but I don't use that anymore because my Atmos room is so well lit. I mean, I've got six spotlights on the ceiling. I think I've got 15 lights around the room. So, I mean, we are well lit. When I did have the ring light on, it was just like, it's not doing anything. But get yourself like a little ring light, put a DSLR camera in the middle, or your phone, something to record the audio, because generally speaking, DSLR cameras aren't the greatest, don't have the greatest audio recording, and also the your iPhone or your Android, whatever you're using, isn't going to have the best audio recording. So, you know, get yourself a nice little VideoMic Pro. They're really cool. They do the job. But then once you have that, it's not good enough to just be someone sat in front of it and just talking. How to go about making these sorts of videos once you have that kit in place, that is something that you can't buy. So talk about subjects you are very knowledgeable on. Answer questions or talk about subjects that you know a lot about, because you'll find that the people that have to script something, or they have to record it in various different takes, and you'll notice that there's a little cut here and a cut there and a cut there, and it's all stitched together to make sense. Those people don't actually know fully what they're talking about, because they're having to think about it and script it at a later date and before they do the video. So you want to talk about something that you're very knowledgeable about, and that you can talk to someone in a seamless video about. By all means, if you want to cut it up and condense it, by all means do that. But I personally think, you know, it gives a more personal touch if you can do it in one take and you're actually talking to someone. So yeah, then the other thing, so basically talk about subjects that you are knowledgeable on. The next thing is, if I sat here okay, if I sat here like this and I just spoke to you like that, and I spent the next, you know, if I just spend the next 30 seconds just talking to you like this, and you know, you'll find this, what I'm saying, interesting, but you're not, you know, how much of it are you actually taking in? You know, do I sound quite robotic? Do I, you know, is there anything, because I'm sitting very still and I'm just sitting here talking to you. I had this conversation with someone recently about how boring this sort of video would look if I was just sitting here talking to you like this. You know, there's no hand expressions. Then you've got how I like to do a video, and how, you know, lots of people like to do a video. You talk with your hands as much as you talk with your mouth. So think of talking to someone in a video like this as, this is a second language here. This is sign language. This is expression. This is what I'm doing with my hands. Where if I say I'm going backwards, my hands are going backwards. If I say something's big, something is big. You know, something's small, something is small. Something's wide, something's like that. You know, there's a language that you develop yourself with your hands. You know, 1, 2, 3. You develop this language with your hands, and there I'm saying I'm getting something across to you. I'm physically, my hands are getting something across to you. I'm gesturing that I'm giving something to you. Your hands do a lot of the speaking. I'm very aware of what my hands are doing. Whereas when you're doing a video, you will naturally just do things with your hands. And what it does is, you know, go back to that 30 seconds where I was just sitting still, no hand gestures or anything, and you will lose interest. Whereas if you're watching me and you're talking, you're almost looking at my hands rather than looking at me. So you're hearing what I'm saying, but you're seeing the visual hand gestures that accompany what I'm saying. So it's almost like a second language, which is basically my own sign language of what I see as, this is my interpretation of sign language. So this is what you're watching. You're watching the hands. And it's like when you watch a video and there's subtitles at the bottom, running across the bottom. You find yourself not watching what's on screen. You watch the subtitles. You know, everything my hand is doing there, watch the subtitles, because subtitles are at the bottom. So it's like your hands can do so much. And this is something that you'll get better at over time, and you will develop this way of speaking. I mean, like, if anybody watched my old videos that were similar to this, they're very much me sitting in front of a desk like that, very monotone, just chatting about something I know a lot about, but I call it, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's called charisma, saying about you that you can deliver something, and it is something that's developed over time. And I'll tell you one way one little tip that I would give for someone who is trying to kind of gain a bit of confidence to be in front of a camera and be able to deliver deliver a kind of video like this where they're talking to someone on a video. One little tip and one way to practice this is wake up in the morning, right? You have a list. I have a list of all the questions on my phone. I won't show you what the questions are, but my phone's there. But I have basically, I'll show you this. So on my phone, I mean, I won't show you, but there is a notes with all the questions that I've been asked, and I'm not going to show you the questions because they're going to be the questions for the next videos, and some of them I'm going to go through today. But I have a list in my notes on my phone of all the questions that people have asked me, and when someone asks me or when I get a question via email, I think, oh, that's a good question. I write it down into my notes, and then I do the videos on these because they're frequently asked questions, and they're questions that, you know, if someone's asking me and wants me to answer them in an email, then there's people out there like yourselves who have that similar question or you know, find that question interesting and would like to know the answer to it. So that's why I do these sorts of question and answers. So what I was getting at was my one big tip would be write down all certain questions, write things down into a notes on your phone, right? In the morning when you wake up, right? Go have your shower, right? When you get up, go and have your shower. Stand in the shower doing these videos to yourself in the shower. Some people like to sing in the shower. I like to stand in the shower and go over videos that I'm going to be doing that day. I've got them written down so I know, you know, all right, that's the question I'm going to do today, or these are the questions I'm going to do today. I'll stand in the shower. Sometimes I'll be in the shower for half an hour, just standing there, planning my day out, and generally just doing these videos. Now you've probably got a picture of me in the shower. Sorry about that, but you can practice how to do these videos. Now think of it like this. You start these videos, you're doing these videos, and you're practicing them, but what you're gaining is you're gaining, say, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, however long you want to spend in the shower. You're getting 15 minutes practice of making a video like this every single day, and you do highly benefit from that, because you will just, like, what the thing is what else are you doing while standing in the shower? You're doing nothing. You're not doing anything really. So it's a perfect time. You're alone, no one's about, you know, wife, the kids, they're all doing something else. You've got your 15, 20 minutes, half hour, however long you spend in the shower, on your own. Practice your video, practice doing these sorts of things. And that's what I do. And you know, I am quite, like, I've been doing these sorts of videos and interviews with companies and all sorts of things, like public speaking in general. I've been doing it a lot. So it's not something I need to practice, but it is something that I practice. I don't spend time just staring into space. I'm always doing something and practicing something and bettering at something. And my time in the mornings when I get into shower, I spend that going through videos like what I'm doing now and practicing those. It's like I get in the car, I drive to work, right? I get in the car, I drive to work. I don't listen to the radio. I'm doing these videos. So if you ever see me drive past you and I'm talking to myself, I'm not actually talking to myself. I'm doing these videos, but in the car. I'd love to be able to set my phone up in the car and just kind of record me driving along in the car. But, you know, as an audio video, this is a better backdrop. So yeah, that's my little tips on what to do, and believe me, it will really benefit you when making these videos, listening to these sorts of suggestions, and they will better your videos, and you will get more viewers. People will stay more interacted in your videos. I can look at my analytics for videos where I'm engaging with the audience and talking with my hands and making things interesting. I can look at the analytics of those sorts of videos, and there's a lot more what would you call it, people stay watching the video for a longer duration, over a longer period of time, as compared to videos where I'm more static. The drop off is quite substantially sooner. So by, you know, the average listener on a 6-minute video would have dropped off at 2 minutes, whereas if I'm using, you know, keeping people interested, the drop off is maybe 4 minutes on a 6-minute video. So yeah, they're my little tips. I hope you find that helpful. If you have any questions, go to the link in the description on these videos and drop me a question via our website. And yeah, I will always if you've sent a question and it's relevant to answer, I will always go through and answer them.